When there was a direct, straightforward route available to reach his destination, why was President John Kennedy's motorcade brought through the city? Who had planned this route?
In Dallas, Texas, 3 shots were fired at President Kennedy's motorcade.
The official who fired the shot from that book depository building was hired a month ago by just one phone call? Why has the girl wearing scarf and capturing this incident in photograph never been found? What was her connection to this incident?
We meet at a college noted for knowledge, in a city noted for progress.
The assassination of American President John F. Kennedy occurred at the time when he was passing through downtown Dallas in his heavily guarded motorcade with Texas Governor John Connolly.
I realize the pursuit of peace is not as dramatic as the pursuit of war.
He was shot twice in an open-top convertible car when the motorcade reached near Book Depository building.
Air Force number 1, ladies and gentlemen, carrying the President of the United States. Beautiful sight.
No shooting of a president has been more investigated or analyzed than the assassination of President John F. Kennedy. Yet, the official story was hard for anyone to digest. Dear viewers, exactly 61 years ago, American President John F. Kennedy was killed on his motorcade. President John F. Kennedy's death, where millions of Americans were thrust into mourning. Secret Service agents were with him, along with a full police motorcade. The FBI had been monitoring this entire route for several days prior. Despite all this, on November 22, 1963, near Delhi Plaza, he was attacked and killed just minutes after the assault, causing immediate commotion among the CIA, FBI, Secret Service and police. However, despite deploying such forces, they could not bring anyone other than Lee Oswald within the bounds of law. Was this a thought-out conspiracy, or did a lone shooter catch the world's top secret agencies off guard, shooting the most famous president from just a few meters away? There are many reasons to believe that still many secrets are unknown and hidden by the authority, with the first being the selection of the venue where the president was actually going. President Kennedy had to make a political speech in Dallas, Texas, for which 2 options were available. One was the Trade Mart and the other was recommendation of the Women's Building. But Texas Governor John Connolly wanted the president to go to Trade Mart because the Trade Mart was a banquet hall, whereas the interior of the Women's Building was not capable of accommodating the president. Finally, on November 14th, that is 8 days before the Senate, the venue of the Trade Mart was selected, but this news was not made public. Now it was the time to decide how to go from Love Field Airport to Trade Mart. Normally, presidential motorcades are maneuvered through routes where there are fewer obstacles or turns at least, and that was exactly one route bypassing the city from outside. The president could have reached the Trade Mart, but it was not selected for him. Instead, the route passing through the school book depository from within the city where the shooter attacked the president was chosen. If you think this route was specifically planned to attack the president, then you are wrong. Yes, it was the president's own request because he wanted to pass through the crowds. However, if we consider that instead of selecting the Trade Mart venue the Women's Building was chosen, then the president's motorcade would have gone east from Main Road, increasing the distance from the book depository and making it harder for the shooter to aim. One crucial point in planning the president's assassination was the selection of the Trade Mart venue. As you have learned, Texas Governor John Connolly, he was out of the equation of being targeted, suspected to be involved in this planned murder, because at the time of attack on the president, he was sitting in the car with his wife too. He was also shot but survived. Secondly, Governor Connolly was already opposed to this route. He wanted to reach the Trade Mart directly from outside the city, But someone had already calculated all these things much earlier. The president's motorcade and the venue for his assassination were publicly announced just 4 days before. This information was unknown to anyone beforehand, but something had happened in the school book depository 2 months earlier, indicating that this information was already with someone. Yes, just about 2 months ago, there was a suddenly shortage of staff in the school book depository in September. In 1963, a person named Wesley Frazier received a call from employment agency offering him a job in the book depository. Wesley Frazier lived in the town half an hour away from Irving. The next day, on September 13, he reached the book depository, and there he was hired by the superintendent Roy Truly. A month later, on October 15, Wesley's neighbor also approached the superintendent of the book depository by phone, and coincidentally, the next day he was also hired. Wesley's neighbor was not someone else but Lee Oswald, who was to be arrested in the case of President John Kennedy's murder after 39 days. Since Lee Oswald did not have a driving license, he could not come back every day. That's why he rented a room in Dallas. On weekends, after office hours with Wesley, used to go home to Irving and return to the book depository with him on Monday morning. This routine continued for a month, but just a day before the president's assassination on November 21, this routine broke. On Thursday 21, Lee Oswald went home with Wesley to Irving because he said he would stay in Dallas this weekend. The next morning on Friday, when Oswald left home with Wesley to go to the office, he had a long paper bag in his hand, in which Oswald said there were curtain rods that he was going to install in his room. Just half an hour before the president's motorcade arrived, there were many people gathered around the depository building. Some employees of the depository were also watching this scene from the 5th floor. At exactly 12:30 p.m., the president's motorcade arrives, in which the president was sitting on the right side of the car and his wife on the left side. The governor and his wife were present. As soon as the presidential limousine took a left turn from the book depository, the entire area echoed with the sound of first gunfire. At the time, a reporter was recording the entire scene with his camera. Some people said that 2 shots were fired, but others heard the sound of 3. One bullet hit the president's neck and others stuck in his head. The limousine's driver, without waiting, quickly sped away from the location. However, President John F. Kennedy's death possibly occurred on the spot. Some people said about the shooter that his suit was black, while others said it was white. However, a Dallas police officer had seen someone fire shots from the 6th floor after the first shot. Without wasting any time, he entered the building and reached the 6th floor but found no one there. Within a few minutes, the entire building was sealed off by the police and FBI, preventing all employees inside from leaving. However, among these employees, one person was missing, and it wasn't anyone else but Lee Oswald. Perhaps after taking this action, he had immediately left the book depository. He first went to his room, changed his clothes, took his pistol and then left. The police, who were now searching for Oswald, had spread out patrols throughout the city via radio. A police officer saw Oswald, but before he could do anything, Oswald fired 4 shots at the officer and killed him on the spot. The Oswald had already hidden in a nearby movie theater. Soon the police found him and arrested him, taking him to the city headquarters. For the next 2 days, the police, FBI and CIA interrogated him extensively, but no recordings found of the questioning were made in the closed room. Whatever happened there, no one has any evidence of it. On November 24, when he was being transferred from police headquarters to jail, a man shot him in front of the media and police. Lee Oswald died in the same hospital where John F. Kennedy had been taken. People like James Lavelle, a Dallas police officer who not only investigated JFK's murder but was the man who handcuffed Lee Harvey Oswald when he was shot by Jack Ruby. A shocking event also caught on film. This was the official story disclosed, but many witnesses said the person they saw on the 6th floor window wasn't Oswald. Oswald kept saying in front of the media before being shot that I am innocent, I am just a patsy. Now if we analyze this whole story according to the police, Lee Oswald had planned and executed everything very cleverly and meticulously in the book depository beforehand, hiding from FBI, CIA and police intelligence. However, some people believe that if Oswald had executed such a perfect plan alone, then how did he make so many mistakes in the end? Like fleeing from the building where he was an employee after being seen by a police officer and then shooting him, creating a suspicion about himself, or hiding in a movie theater. All these mistakes raised a lot of questions. After President John F. Kennedy's assassination, several investigation reports were published, but each report was more confusing than the other. After Oswald's death, another theory emerged that perhaps those who had actually planned this whole thing had also arranged Oswald's death, because if this was a conspiracy, then it wouldn't have been possible to execute it without insiders. Many believe that the FBI and CIA were also involved in the conspiracy because Lee Oswald was actually a former US Marine and was already under FBI surveillance. However, they hide this fact from the President's Secret Service when they were deciding the motorcade route. During the investigation, many pieces of the evidence were also erased, such as the shells of 3 bullets found on the 6th floor being removed first without taking photographs, and then the bullets being placed back to that place again to take the picture from where the shots were fired. The initial videos were made by the police, but even those went missing. Evidence of shooter was definitely recorded, ensuring this mystery never remained a mystery. During the shooting, a girl wearing a scarf was seen in almost all photos and videos, holding a camera and capturing all the president's movement. The scarf worn by this girl is called a Babushka, and she became known as the Babushka Lady. Many people theorize that Babushka Lady was also part of this entire plan, whose role was to record a scene. However, to this day, the FBI has never been able to find this girl. That's all. Thank you for watching. See you in next amazing video. Until then, don't forget to subscribe and like this video.